Warm light bathes the dining room, filled with laughter and the comforting scent of a home-cooked meal. Amidst the cheerful gathering, James sits silently, a haunted look in his eyes, detached from the warmth around him. He leans towards Claire, his expression grave, a secret weighing heavily on his soul. In a hushed whisper, barely audible above the convivial din, James confesses, "I killed someone." Claire's expression shifts from joy to disbelief as James delivers his shocking confession. The laughter fades, replaced by an unnerving silence as James's words hang in the air, shattering the idyllic scene. In the dim solitude of his apartment, James sits shrouded in shadows, his mind adrift in a sea of introspection. His voice, a mere whisper in the oppressive silence, breaks the stillness. It was a test, really, a test of loyalty. He continues, haunted by past failures. I kept thinking about how I'd failed, how Claire had succeeded where I hadn't. It gnawed at me. His voice gains intensity as he confesses, I needed to know who would stand by me if I confessed to something terrible, who would still be there when the dust settled. Claire laughs freely, the sound filling the dining room with warmth. But as she turns to James, a flicker of concern darkens her expression. Her laughter dies in her throat, replaced by a growing unease. That's not funny, James. The words hang heavy in the air. Under the dim lamplight, Claire stands frozen, a chasm of unspoken words separating her from her parents. Claire hesitates, the weight of James's confession hanging heavy in the air. Her mother's face crumples, a storm of suppressed emotions threatening to erupt. The mother retreats, locks herself in her room, overwhelmed. The father silently pours a drink, his gaze fixed downward, refusing to meet Claire's eyes. The father continues to avoid eye contact. In the dim stillness of his apartment, James is jolted awake by a sudden notification. He sits up, the faint light of his phone illuminating his face in the darkness. His eyes dart across the screen, absorbing the words of the message. A text flashes across the screen. Tell me you're joking. A flicker of satisfaction dances across James's face, betraying a hidden triumph. He stares intently at the phone, the subtle emotion lingering in his gaze. The morning air buzzes with unspoken accusations as neighbors navigate the street, their glances wary and fleeting. An invisible barrier forms, isolating me as the community subtly shuns my presence. A strange exhilaration bubbles up from within, a dark counterpoint to the surrounding alienation. Despite the isolation, I feel a surge of dark excitement coursing through my veins. In the sterile office, James becomes the reluctant focal point of his colleagues' gazes. Fear and curiosity intertwine on their faces, painting a vivid tableau of unspoken accusations. The air crackles with tension, each silent glance a heavy weight on James. The weight of scrutiny bears down as James continues to work. In the doorway of his apartment, James faces two detectives, their polite demeanor masking an underlying firmness. Detective 1 initiates the interrogation with a measured tone. We're following up on a tip, Mr. James. Detective 2 steps forward, reinforcing their purpose with a direct request. Just a few questions, sir. James maintains a facade of calm, but the detective's unwavering gaze suggests a storm brewing beneath the surface. The detectives remain in the doorway, blocking James's path. Their presence is an implicit threat. The air crackles with unspoken tension as the interrogation begins, the room shrinking around James. In the confines of his apartment, James attempts to appear composed as he sits opposite the detectives. He leans forward slightly, initiating an intricate fabrication. Subtle beads of sweat betray his carefully constructed innocence. His voice remains steady, weaving a fictitious alibi with fabricated details. A nervous energy flickers in his eyes. His eyes reveal the truth he desperately tries to hide. An oppressive silence descends upon the dining room, its weight palpable as unspoken words hang heavy in the air. Claire leans forward, her eyes reflecting desperation as she pleads for a resolution. James stares blankly ahead, lost in his thoughts, his expression unreadable. His mother's lips move in silent prayer, her eyes squeezed shut, seeking solace in faith. His father pointedly ignores James, his attention focused intently on his untouched plate. In a moment of desperate entreaty, Claire's voice cracks as she begs, "James, please, tell them you didn't mean it. Tell them it was a mistake." In the stark confines of the police station, James sits alone, his worry deepening with each tick of the clock. A familiar face breaks the sterile atmosphere as James's best friend enters, a silent promise of unwavering support. Their hands clasp firmly, a silent exchange of loyalty echoing through the cold, empty room. But as the days turn into weeks, the once steadfast friend begins to drift away, his visits dwindling, his reassurances losing their weight. Under the relentless glare of the interrogation room lights, James finds himself trapped. The stark, gray walls close in as James begins to weave a false narrative of murder. A chilling detail escapes his lips, each word a calculated step deeper into the fabricated tale. The weight of deception hangs heavy in the air as James continues his haunting narration. The interrogation room remains silent, save for James's unsettling voice. The fake murder continues with chilling detail. In the stark interrogation room, James's voice reverberates, filling the tense silence. A subtle shift flickers across the detectives' faces, a silent acknowledgement of truth. He sees belief dawn in their eyes, a stark contrast to the perpetual doubt etched on his family's faces. A disturbing thought creeps in. Has the lie become more real than the life he once knew? The stark room seems to close in as the boundaries of truth and falsehood blur. In the silence, the weight of the lie threatens to engulf him, reshaping his reality. In the sterile visiting room, Claire sits opposite James, a thick glass wall separating them. Her eyes betray the relentless crying. "Tell me it's not true." James remains silent, avoiding Claire's gaze. His expression is unreadable. The heavy silence in the room amplifies the unspoken truth. Alone in the dimly lit apartment, James's eyes dart around the room, searching, questioning. He clutches his head, a soft groan escaping his lips as reality begins to slip. Broken images flicker in his mind, memories blurring into a chaotic mess. He is haunted by visions of a murder, a crime he swears he never committed. Sweat beads on his forehead as the weight of unreal events presses down on him, threatening to crush him. Sunlight floods James's apartment, each dust mote a tiny spotlight in the vast silence. The silence echoes with the unspoken, each corner holding a fragment of his past. In a hushed voice, James reflects. The more I spoke it, the more real it became. His words hang in the air, solidifying into a tangible truth. The stark interrogation room hums under fluorescent lights, casting long, ominous shadows. Detectives watch James, their faces grim, hinting at unspoken disappointment and unresolved suspicions. A silent gesture from the detective signals their failure, the weight of unproven accusations palpable. James walks towards the exit, his shoulders slumped, the burden of suspicion heavy upon him. He exits into the waiting night, leaving behind the room and its oppressive atmosphere. James walks alone through his neighborhood, an outcast in his own community. Whispers follow him like shadows, a constant reminder of his isolation. Eyes pierce him with judgment, each glance a sting of rejection. Former friends turn away, crossing the street to avoid him, their backs a cold dismissal. His steps falter, each stride heavy with the weight of their scorn. James arrives at his parents' house and stands on the porch, a determined knock echoing in the silent air. A subtle twitch of the curtains hints at someone inside, unseen eyes watching. His mother's face materializes behind the glass, an unreadable expression clouding her features. The door remains unopened, the silence stretching, thick with unspoken words and hidden emotions. James sits alone, the silence of his apartment pressing in on him. He stares at his phone, reliving memories through old text. A tremor runs through him as he steels himself to listen to voicemails from family. Each message echoes in the stillness, amplifying the weight of unspoken words. The air thickens with the confession that looms heavy and unavoidable. In the dim solitude of his apartment, James's eyes reflect a sudden, stark realization. The oppressive darkness mirrors the profound isolation closing in around him. A gesture of mounting anxiety sees James running a trembling hand through his disheveled hair. The crushing weight of his actions descends upon him, each consequence a heavy blow. In a moment of devastating clarity, James recognizes, "What have I done?" He realizes in horror that he has exiled himself, severing all ties with those he loves. Amidst the remnants of sleepless nights, James sits, a tableau of defeat under the dim glow. The scattered papers and empty cups bear silent witness to his despair. His face, etched with resignation and bitterness, tells a story of shattered trust. With a voice tinged with sorrow, James laments, "People don't believe in innocence." His words echo the haunting truth. And once you confess, they never see you the same again. In the quiet dining room, James sits alone at the table, a haunting echo of his past. The same table where his confession once hung heavy in the air. The weight of unspoken words fills the silence. He appears lost in thought, alone with his memories. The emptiness of the room amplifies his solitude. The table stands as a silent witness to his inner turmoil. The dining room breathes with silence, punctuated only by the ancient clock's measured rhythm. A confession hangs heavy in the air as I whisper, my voice trembling, "I killed someone." Silence surges back, amplifying the crushing weight of isolation. The room offers no solace, only the deafening echo of what has been done. In the stark solitude of his apartment, James exists in twisted stasis, a prisoner of his own making. He is not punished by law, but by the inescapable confines of his own life. His experiment, once a beacon of hope, has plunged him into permanent isolation. His worst fear confirmed, he sees the stark reality. He was never truly loved unconditionally. The weight of this realization crushes him in the silence of his apartment.